So where is the altcoin season? Has it already started? Or did we already have an altcoin season in this cycle? Well, in my opinion, no and no. And let me explain why. So if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, I mean, it's still going up. We still did not get to the overbought territory on the monthly chart. And of course, we do not have to go to the overbought territory to confirm that we have topped for this cycle. I mean, we did not get to that level in the previous cycle either, so, we don't have to go to these levels right here. We could start dropping now and it would be fine. And if you look at what happened in the previous cycle right here, as you can see, we did not get to the 0.618 extension of the previous high right here and the low that happened after that. So we don't have to get to the 0.618 extension. Now we are very close to that extension and we will most likely get to it in this cycle, but after we touch it, I'm expecting an altcoin season like I said multiple times. Now we have some problems. Well, the main problem is that I kind of wanted the Bitcoin dominance chart to top in September and it did not. It's still trying to go up now, which leads me to believe that we have not topped. And if that is the case, maybe we are actually copying what we did in the previous cycle right here. And as you can see, in September of 2020, which was also a halving year, we started a pump on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and this pretty much lasted until December. And then after we had another huge pump, then we got the altcoin season. So if we are copying what we did over here, then maybe there's the chance that we go up on the Bitcoin dominance chart until December, and then after we get to 60%, maybe even 61% in December, then we start dropping in January, and that's when we get the altcoin season. Of course, it does not have to play out the exact same as it did over here, because if you look at what happened in the previous cycle, in the cycle before the 2021 cycle, you could say that the altcoin season started in a halving year as well. I mean, you could say that it started in July of 2016, but if you look at what happened after that, Bitcoin dominance pretty much did nothing until February of the pre-halving year, and then we had this altcoin season. So in each cycle, well, in the previous two cycles, the altcoin season started in the pre-halving year. So maybe that means that we will do the exact same thing in this cycle as well. Of course, like I said, we do not have to copy what we did in the previous two cycles. We could do something entirely different. But for now, I think that's the case. I think we'll just copy what we did over here and over here. Now, I know I said that there's a chance that Bitcoin dominance gets to 60% in October. And I said that because we are very close to the 60% level. And I don't think we need another 2 months to get to that level. I mean, we are like 2% away from it. And that could literally happen overnight. The Bitcoin dominance chart could go to 60% literally today and it would not be crazy. So that's why I thought October would be a good month for the altcoin season to start. But, we have not gotten one yet. And of course, if we do get one, you cannot expect the Bitcoin dominance chart to go down in a straight line, and you cannot expect it to drop like 25% in 1 month. It will most likely do what it did over here and what it did in the previous cycle as well. So if we are expecting an altcoin season in December, which, that could be catastrophic for some altcoins, because some altcoins are already very close to invalidating their 1-2 setups. For example, Cardano is currently at 35 cents and the invalidation point for it is at 22 cents. And if we get another lower low in the main second wave right here, there's a big chance that we just invalidate the whole setup, which would not be good. But you have to keep in mind that this does not have to happen. So if Bitcoin dominance goes up for another 2 or 3 months, Cardano does not have to stay in the second wave move down right here. It could start going up in a third wave move up, and maybe it could even complete a first wave of that main third wave move to the upside. However, even if we do that, then Bitcoin will most likely still outperform Cardano for the next 2 months if we continue going up on the Bitcoin dominance chart. And I still believe Bitcoin will go to 100k by the end of the year. I think that's very likely to happen. And if that happens, then of course Cardano will go up. It's just not going to go up as much as Bitcoin. And that's fine, because after Bitcoin gets to 100k, I believe that's when the altcoin season will actually start. So after Bitcoin gets to 100K by the end of the year, Bitcoin dominance will top and then we'll get the altcoin season. That seems like the most likely scenario right now, if we do not start an altcoin season earlier this month. Now let me talk about the other altcoins for a second. For example, ICP is also in a 1-2 setup and it also needs a third wave move up. Now, unlike Cardano, ICP is holding support levels quite well and it's nowhere near invalidating the 1-2 setup, so it's fine. It could theoretically go sideways for another month or two and it would be fine. Also, this chart does not react that much to the Bitcoin dominance chart because the market cap of ICP is not really that big. Now, if you look at Ethereum, for example, Ethereum is probably going to take a big hit if Bitcoin dominance continues going up because, if Bitcoin dominance goes up, Ethereum is usually the most affected by it. And Solana as well. Solana has been going sideways for 7 months now. And the Solana chart looks very similar to the Bitcoin chart. So, there is a chance that Solana does not go up in the altcoin season. Everyone is expecting Solana to go up another 15x from where it's at right now. But what if it doesn't? What if it only goes to like $500 and then it tops right there and it does not actually react to the Bitcoin dominance chart? Because as you can see, Solana has only gone up when Bitcoin dominance went up. When Bitcoin dominance went down, Solana went down. So, it's questionable. Maybe Solana is actually reacting to the Bitcoin dominance chart, and whenever it goes up with it. There are of course some other altcoins like ICP that still do not do absolutely anything. If you look at this chart, it has been going sideways for the past 7 years. I don't know how people still have hope for this, but you do what you want to do. And other altcoins, for example Uniswap is also in a second wave move down. It also needs a third wave move up. But like I said, if we do go sideways for another 2 months on most altcoins, that will make a lot of people sell out of panic, of course. But those that stay, I think, will get rewarded quite nicely in a third wave move to the upside. Now, I have these target zones on my charts, but they do not really mean anything. This is the 1.618 of the high right here and the bear market low. Of course, we could get to that level, but we do not really have to, and there's no confirmation that we will get to these levels. Of course, in a bullish scenario, we will get to the 1.618 on most charts, but there are going to be exceptions, of course. There are always exceptions. And if you look at some meme coins, for example, Shiba Inu is currently in a 4th wave move down, and it's trying to start a 5th wave move up. It's not really succeeding right now, but at least it went up about 100% from this low right here to this high right here. So it is doing fine, but if it does go sideways for another month or two, then do not be surprised. However, I also have to mention that if we do not get an altcoin season at the beginning of 2025, then there's a big chance that we will not get an altcoin season in this cycle. And I know that seems crazy. How could we not get an altcoin season? Well, at some point we have to get one. Well, what do I mean by not having an altcoin season? Well, of course, Bitcoin dominance is still going to go down. But what if it only goes down to like 45% or so, and then it starts pumping? Nobody talks about that, Now, of course, I find that to be very unlikely. I don't think that will happen, but that could be something that maybe you need to think about. Now, let's move on to some other altcoins. There are some altcoins that are doing just horrible. For example, Matic. This is pretty much a dead coin right now. I don't think there's any hope left for this. We could get a 5th wave in the altcoin season, but, I don't think we'll get to these extensions right here. If we do, it's going to be a miracle. And another altcoin that we have is Near Protocol. It's still in a 1-2 setup. It still needs a 3rd wave, 4th wave, and 5th wave move up. And this is one of these coins that, it could theoretically get to the 1.618 level in the cycle. And maybe even the 2.618 because this is a 1, 2, 3 setup. So this could be a very bullish 3rd wave move to the upside right here. And Chainlink is also another altcoin that needs a 3rd wave move up. So I think you get it by now. A lot of altcoins need a 3rd wave move up and many altcoins are holding the support levels. So at some point we need to get a 3rd wave move up. I mean, that's how Elliott wave works. So, you know, we have to get a pump at some point. Now, I don't know when that will happen, but it could happen, you know, this month or maybe in December. If it does not happen in October, then it will most likely start at the end of December. Now, there are some other altcoins, for example, Polkadot almost invalidated its 1-2 setup. It was like 0.03 cents away from doing it. It did not invalidate it because it did not go below this low right here. But it was so close to it that, you know, it really makes you wonder if it will actually manage to hold this low, or if we will actually get another one and put in a new bear market low for this cycle. And some other altcoins like Dogecoin, I mean, Dogecoin is also doing pretty okay. You know, I mean, these altcoins are currently trying to survive right now. That's the whole objective right now. I mean, they cannot really afford to invalidate their 1-2 setups, because if they do, then, you know, they would have to pretty much restart them when an altcoin season happens, and some altcoins could be left behind in the altcoin season. So, you know, they really need to hold support levels now. AVAX is also in a 1-2 setup, and it still needs to get to $250 on this cycle if we want to stay bullish for the next cycle. I mean, the 1.618 is always a very good target for a bullish market. So, you know, and it's also holding support levels quite well. So we'll see what happens with this as well. And there are some other smaller altcoins like VeChain that are also in a 1-2 setups. So if you're looking at your altcoins and you're thinking, man, this coin has gone down way more than the other altcoins, then you are probably wrong. I mean, all altcoins went down, besides some exceptions like Solana and so. But you know, the altcoins that went down right now and in the previous 8 months will most likely do better in this upcoming bull market than Solana. Now, of course, I don't mean they'll do better from the bear market low to the all-time high. I mean, they will start outperforming it, and they will keep outperforming it until the end of the cycle. And of course, not all altcoins will do that. I mean, you cannot expect all altcoins to go to the moon, you know. Every crypto YouTuber is saying that every crypto in existence will go to moon, but I don't think that's the case. I think you have to be careful with what you invest in. Anyways, some other altcoins, for example, Render, have also gone up. Yeah, so I don't have anything else for today. I just wanted to update you on these coins. And if you want us to cover a specific altcoin for you, we can do that for gold members. So maybe check out our memberships on Patreon and on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.